We have done our fair share of shell replacements on the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons, but today I've got a special, something a little different, and that's going to be a shell replacement that actually adds a D-pad. One of the big complaints a lot of people have had about the Switch is that the traditional Joy-Cons don't come with a D-pad option. So we're going to take this clear one that we've already modified and upgrade it to this atomic purple with the D-pad and see how that works out. Oh, stabbed my hand. All right, I might have just set a new record for how fast I can take these things apart and put it back together. So this was actually pretty much identical to switching out with just another shell. The only difference is where you would normally have to lay each button down, you just put a D-pad right here, and it actually fit together exactly the same. Looks like all the buttons are working. All right, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and mess around with these for a little while and see how well the D-pad works out. So after having spent some good time using this thing, I gotta say, I really, really love this modified D-pad. I mean, yes, there is that fear that if you're gonna modify your Joy-Con, you might accidentally brick it, destroy it, make it totally unusable, and to be honest, yes, that is a very valid fear. If you're not careful, you could mess things up. But as long as you take your time and take a little bit of care for it, it really isn't that hard to do, and the benefits are awesome. I mean, this thing feels completely and totally natural to use, almost like this was just an official Nintendo Joy-Con since I was able to put it together successfully. I mean, it's still using a lot of the same internal parts, it's just that instead of having the 4 directional buttons out here, you've got this D-pad instead. So since all the internals are the same, you're getting the same snappiness for all the buttons, and even doing rolling motions feels perfectly natural. Now, where this thing does get awkward though, and this is really the reason why Nintendo didn't pursue using a D-pad in the first place, is that when you want to use the Joy-Con by itself, sideways, you don't actually have any regular buttons, at least on the front facing. You've just got the stick here, the start button, and then another D-pad with no regular A, B, X, Y, or A. But honestly, it's still completely functional. I mean, it feels a little weird at first and it's a little off-putting, but as long as you still make the connection that, you know, these are supposed to be the 4 regular buttons, still works out perfectly fine. That being said, since I have multiple Joy-Cons to use, I'll probably stick with this one just being on the regular portable mode, and if I want to use some sideways ones on their own for like a party game, I'll break out different ones. If you're in a situation where you only have your one set of Joy-Cons, this might be a reason to maybe hold off just for now. Now you may have also noticed that with this upgrade, I not only switched out to having the D-pad on this, but I'm also now using the atomic purple color. Now this is something that I talked about back when I first did the clear modification on the Joy-Cons, and this is actually a color that Nintendo has used a lot in the past. In fact, for comparison, here's a Game Boy Color in the same style, and one thing I'm really impressed by is actually how closely to being the exact same these really are. It's not a perfect match. The one area where this is a little different is that the kind of transparency they use is a little less hazy. It's much more just straight clear than the official Nintendo ones are, but this definitely captures the feel of this classic Nintendo style that I really love. You know, for a long time, I've been sticking with just using the red and blue Joy-Cons because like I said before, I love that kind of just classic game example of red versus blue, but with the addition of the D-pad and this atomic purple color, this might become my daily driver. Now, if this is something that you're interested in doing, but the atomic purple really isn't your jam, the same guys that make this one have made a whole bunch of other colors as well. They've got some more transparent ones like this that are very reminiscent of the N64 Fantastics, but they also have some solid colors as well, like a plain white if that's more your style. I'll link a couple options down below, and I'll see you guys later.